Yo, what's going on? Hey, my mic's finally picking up. Hopefully it's the right mic, though. Okay, good. What's good, everybody? GZTV back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the 5th episode of Season 4 of Breaking Bad, Shotgun. Pretty interesting episode. Um, Walter, obviously played by Bryan Cranston, is racing to Los Pollos Hermanos to confront Gus, played by... Why are they doing this? Gus about Jesse's disappearance. So he's like, Gus, I know you're behind this. So he's trying to confront him, kind of a confrontation. Probably a good move from Walter. He does need some confrontation. Why would you do this to Jesse? There was really no reason this was happening. Worried about what will happen, Walter leaves a voicemail for Skyler and his children, saying only that he loves them. Usually when someone says that in a show, it means, oh, I might die here. I'm entering a risky situation and I might die here, so I love you guys if I can't talk to you again. Walter learns that Gus is not in, and Mike eventually calls, explaining that Jesse is with him and will not be harmed, and tells Walter to go back to work. Mike's like, I assure you, man, Jesse's fine. I know you don't trust us at this point. I know you think we're like unprofessional or something, but I'm just taking Jesse on a little ride, going through my day-to-day stuff with him, and kind of giving him some insight on what I do. So don't worry about it. Go back to work. Everything's okay. Over the course of the day, Mike drives Jesse to 7 isolated drop-off spots all over New Mexico, where Gus's dealers leave the money from meth sales for pickup. So obviously you can't just hand a big old bag of cash to someone on the streets, especially in a place like New Mexico, which is seen as like a meth-ridden place in this show. And I don't know if it's seen like that in real life. I've never really been there, but they gotta leave the money somewhere, so when someone goes to pick it up, it doesn't look like they're just handing it straight to them, and yeah, it doesn't look suspicious. So yeah, again, that's a professional part about Gus. There's obviously some unprofessional parts about Gus that we learned about throughout this season, but that's something that really helps him keep his professionalism a little bit. Jesse assumes he was brought along to watch Mike's back, but Mike denies this angrily after being asked too many times. So Jesse's obviously a very adamant guy. He's like, very prodding. He like pries at people. He tries to get answers out of them, whatnot. Jesse really wants to know what's going on in every situation he's in. He's very curious. He seems like he has like ADHD at times, So he's asking Mike, why am I here? Am I covering your back? Mike says, no, just shut up, sit back, let me do my job. I'm just showing you what I do every day. He insists he doesn't know why he was asked to take Jesse, revealing how much he is left in the dark by Gus. So yeah, Gus doesn't even reveal stuff to his own employees, and that is kind of revealed in this episode with Mike saying that. Not even like his right-hand men know everything about operations, everything on why he tells them to do certain things. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing. Mike's just like, I do what I'm told. I get paid at the end of the day. I'm gonna do what I'm told. Gus is a very smart guy. He knows what he's doing. While waiting in the car alone at the last drop-off spot, Jesse notices 2 robbers approaching, one armed with a shotgun. So maybe this was a setup by Gus to see how big of a hero Jesse was. I don't know. I think that's kind of my prediction on why they did this. It was a big setup. They had this all planned out, and obviously the last stop they were going to have some fake people try to rob them. Maybe not, though. I don't know. He slams the car in reverse, rams into their car, and drives off, obviously leaving Mike behind. Jesse's sitting in this car. He looks behind him. He's like, oh my God, there's a guy with a shotgun approaching me. I better drive off. And obviously he leaves Mike in the dust. But they're chasing after Jesse because Jesse has the car and he has all the supplies and all this stuff. They're not going to be going after Mike. So yeah, let's see. When Jesse returns, Mike hints that he is impressed. Mike's like, well, I gotta say, kid, good job there, man. You showed you're a hero. You showed you really belong in our organization. All that stuff. So that's really cool. It is later revealed that Gus set up the entire scene so that Jesse could consider himself a hero and take his life and work more seriously. So all along, I was like, yeah, Gus planned this. They weren't actually going to get shot. Maybe the robbers would have killed him. I don't fucking know. Because if he wasn't a hero, Gus probably would have killed Jesse. If he had no role, if he had no purpose in their business, then he probably would have been like, alright, go ahead, kill him. He's not a hero. He's not going to help anybody in any big situations. He's not a guy our company can kind of rely on when we get into the down and dirty situations that we could possibly get into. There's been a lot of problems they can get into, and if Jesse can't handle it, then take him out. But obviously he's a hero, so Gus, add some legitimacy to Jesse. He's like, okay, I trust this guy. I like this guy. Okay, we can keep him around for some time. Meanwhile, Walter and Skyler officially buy the car wash. So they're sitting down with this business guy. They're talking about it. They're like, yep, we're gonna buy it. After Skyler hears the voicemail Walter left earlier, the two have sex and she offers to let Walter move back in, but Walter leaves for the lab without giving an answer. So Walter's probably going to move back in. He wants everything well to be with his family, and if Skyler can accept that he's a drug maker, a meth cook, and have him back in the family, that's a win-win for Walter. You know, he's not going to be distracted on the job. He can go do his job, come back home to his wife and kids, and everything will be fine. So yeah, she kind of accepts him, but Walter's like, look, I gotta go, no hard feelings, I gotta get to my job, they need me, this is why we have so much money. But yeah. So yeah, they have sex. They kind of get back together almost. It's like a reconcile in this episode. Jesse has returned to the lab and explains to Walt that he will be working in the lab and also helping Mike with pickups from now on. So yeah, Gus sees the value in Jesse and he's like, you know what? He can have two jobs. He can cook meth during the day and maybe at night go out and do some pickups. That's great for Jesse, you know, getting out and doing some stuff. You know, Jesse probably wants some time off from this place. It's a very dangerous, risky job, very jeopardizing. But he's like, okay, I guess I can probably make some extra cash alongside Mike. Probably take some of Mike's cut, which Mike probably won't be happy about. Walter Jr. Excitedly reveals to his father that Skyler already set the date for Walt to move back in, which seems to unnerve him. Walt's like, oh, really? Wow, okay. He acts like he's happy in the moment, but he's like, that's interesting. Seeing Walter Jr. drink from a Beneke Fabricator's cup, whose boss, Ted Beneke, had an affair with Skyler, as you guys know, upsets him further. So he's already getting some red flags. He's like, okay, Skyler wants me to move back in, but I don't know. This is really weird here. It's a weird situation for her to all of a sudden have a change of heart. During dinner at Hank and Marie's, a brooding Walter gets increasingly tipsy on wine. I mean, if he gets too tipsy on wine, you know what that means. He's probably going to reveal some truths, but we will see. Hank explains that he gave up investigating Gale further, having found a sense of closure in the death of the man he believed to be Heisenberg, but lauds Gale's genius. He's like, well, Gale's dead. We might as well give up on this whole investigation. He's dead. Closure. I can move on with my life knowing that Heisenberg's dead. When really, Heisenberg is sitting right in front of your fucking face, Hank. Isn't that kind of crazy? It is a little crazy, but I don't know. A prideful Walter then insists that Gale was not a genius and suggested he was copying someone else's work. So Walt is looking very suspicious here. I don't know why he was talking. He's very tipsy, so obviously he's going a little too far into things. So maybe Hank is getting some suspicion that Walt could be Heisenberg. This convinces Hank to take another look at the case files, and he notices that the strictly vegan Gale had notes scribbled on a napkin from Los Pollos Hermanos. So yeah, this is the big cliffhanger. Hank finds out that Los Pollos Hermanos has something to do with a meth cook by the name of Gale Boudichere. So that's not good for Gus. I mean, I think Walt might be fine, but Gus, yeah, it's not good for you, because now we know that. I can't wait for the next episode. I feel like Hank's going to send some guys over to Los Pollos Hermanos to kind of interrogate him. I don't know. We'll see how Gus handles it. He's a good enough villain in this show that, he'll figure something out. This is a decent episode. It's probably like a 4.5 out of 5. It's probably a high B-ish. I don't know. It is one of the worst episodes, but again, I don't really have much to say about it. It is one of the worst episodes in the series just because of the action factor. We want action, obviously. That sounds like kind of a foolish thing to say. That sounds kind of ignorant to say as a Breaking Bad fan who's been watching this for 4 seasons, but we do want some action. And throughout, in the middle of the seasons, you're not going to get much. You're going to get a lot of story development. You're going to get a lot of character development. you can't really expect the creators to go all out, give you guys some shock value every episode. They're going to keep some main pieces alive. They're going to keep some main pieces out of jeopardy until the big ending, because that's what people are looking forward to. They want people to look forward to that every season. But anyways, I'm out. I think next episode will be a pretty solid episode just because, Hank is starting to find some developments on this case, and oh my god, Gustavo Fringe, whatever, he might be in trouble. I've really started to like Giancarlo Esposito. He is in Far Cry 6. That is fantastic. This guy's involved in a lot of things. He's dipped his toes in a lot of series. He's in The Boys, which we're going to be talking about here in a couple seconds. He's really dipped his toes in a lot of stuff in the industry. I really appreciate him, but I'm out. I will give you guys the episode 6